For the last defender.
What is up, team? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Andie. A lot of people from the last video really wanted to see more into kind of my study tips. And in case you haven't seen my video before, I did kind of a introductory type video, how to study 101 or part 1, which basically has more simplified tips in it. But this one I wanted to talk a little bit more, especially because it is winter break, and in my last video, as I said, even though you don't have work, I think this is a really good time to take the opportunity to kind of put yourself ahead of others or kind of better prepare yourself for what's to come. But in saying that, I also kind of emphasize the importance of also kind of taking a break, because especially during this time, uni or school or whatever can be pretty full on. So just make sure to kind of balance yourself, take the time with your family, with your friends, or time to yourself, but also don't kind of get lost in the kind of lounging on the couch, as I very much understand. So before I start, remember to like and subscribe. Oh, and thank you so much. We reached 700. It's crazy, because to think of 700 people watching these videos, I just can't. But I'm so grateful for every single one of you, and may we continue to grow the family. So I think one of the big things, especially at home, to think about, and that's emphasized, is to think about your environment. Because the problem with me, and I'm sure with a lot of you guys, is that once you're home, you just want to lounge. You're kind of in the sense of comfort, and you don't really have the motivation to actually get productive, and I totally understand that. And so really think kind of where in the house is your most productive. It could be your bedroom, though if you're a person who tends to kind of go on their phone or whatever on their bed, don't do that. Don't study in your bed, although other people kind of really thrive on their bed. So really figure out what works best for you. For me, I'm kind of in between. If I'm doing anything handwritten, then I like to go at the desk, because obviously it's a better surface and everything like that. Whereas if I'm doing more memorization or talking things through, then I'll usually go to my bed, because that's where I'm kind of comfortable and I can just speak and speak and not look like an idiot in front of everyone. Yeah, just figure out kind of what environment works best for you guys. If you're not in the right environment, then there's no way you're gonna get productive. The other thing is, for me anyway, I have a bunch of random things to do. So some of them are volleyball committee related, some of them are physio society related, some of them are uni related, some of them are other things. So one of the best things obviously that you can do to stay on top of it is to make a list. You can have an app on your phone, you can write it down. I usually do both, just because, you know, throughout the day there can be things that you remember that you need to do and you don't have that list that you've written down because it's at home. So I kind of do both, so then you have it somewhere. I did kind of give you guys a little bit of a glimpse in one of my previous videos, but especially when it's uni related, when you're writing your lists, my biggest tip is to be as specific as you can. Just because, especially in physiotherapy, and I'm sure in every other course, there are larger topics which you could say. So you could say neuro, you could even say neuro upper limb, but there's so many different things underneath that you need to hit. So if you're specifying on your list what you want to hit, it keeps you more focused rather than putting just a large topic. I feel like there's a lot more chance for you to kind of go off into something that's not even related, or go off into something that's not making your time as productive as it can be. For me specifically, obviously because I'm a third year, we've kind of covered everything that we need to for a degree, because we've just got kind of dissertation stuff and transitional things into kind of our more qualified life, which is crazy to think about. So for me, I want to solidify my anatomy a lot better, because I feel like when your anatomy is solidified, it makes it a lot easier for you to connect it to different conditions and different pathologies and stuff. So I'm kind of splitting it up into regions, so not just the upper limb, but maybe the shoulder, the forearm, and the hand, you know, things like that. So I think splitting it up makes it a lot more clear as to what you need to target in that day. And so the next thing you can do is kind of, once you have that list, it's to schedule it out. If you know you've got 2 weeks, then kind of schedule, use a timetable, use the calendar on your phone, use a handwritten, you know, let me show you. Use an actual diary. There are so many different things that you can use to kind of schedule it out, because again, that just keeps you on top of your things. If you know you've got 3 days to cover this topic, then you've got 3 days to cover that topic. Or you can kind of blank out, okay, the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, I don't want to do any studying during that time, because that's going to be designated time to my family. It just keeps it a lot more clear as to what you have to complete. It's almost like creating your own deadlines in a way. And then actually in the study session, if you want to stay organized, I've said this before, but using a Pomodoro, so kind of a 25-minute work, 5-minute break, 45-minute work, 5-minute break, because it's so easy to burn out. So you guys, it's one of the best things that I could say. However, keeping in mind, if your timer, if your work period finishes and you're on a roll, doesn't mean you have to stop, because I feel like sometimes those on a roll moments are so rare to where you keep going, but once you start feeling yourself wanting to grab your phone, wanting to kind of go on YouTube or something like that, take that break. Once you start feeling yourself go unproductive, break time. Okay, so the next tip is, obviously nowadays it's quite hard to do this next one because of COVID, but you still have Zoom and everything like that. It's not the same, especially in physiotherapy when a lot of it is kind of hands-on, but I must say working with people can be super beneficial because you can have discussions. It can really deepen your understanding of, especially if you're talking about conditions and everything like that, it can solidify it, and it's really, really good, especially, you know, if you're an auditory listener or a visual learner or something like that. It can be really, really good, so I definitely recommend it. With that in mind, kind of, if you have friends in your course, really be selective with who you're studying with, because trust me, I know, especially in first year I had to figure this out, and you can kind of figure it out relatively quickly, is there are certain friends you just can't study with. You're just not productive, you're just talking, and it's just, it ain't it. But there might be other friends who you're just bouncing off of each other and it works really, really well. So definitely kind of be selective with who you study with, and they won't take it to heart, because if you come up to them and you're just like, come on dude, like, you know we don't study well together, this isn't gonna work, I might have to study with Anushka instead. They will totally understand, because you're not saying I don't want to be your friend anymore, you're just saying we're not productive together. And they know it too, so don't worry at all. But I have to say that's one of the best things that I did, especially with your practical exams, when you're having the discussions with your examiners. Having these discussions with your friends can actually be really, really good practice, and as I say, it just helps you solidify your knowledge so well. The next tip is, again, kind of more physiotherapy, physiological based, and that's, you know, when you're talking anatomy and everything like that, draw on yourself. I'm such a visual learner, but I feel like this helped everyone, like your nerve pathways, your muscles, seeing it on your body can let yourself visualize it. And I feel like instead of memorizing it, you're actually understanding, oh, your radial nerve originates here and goes all the way down underneath this, past this, and terminates here. So yeah, that kind of, for me anyway, that helped me a lot. And trust me, we actually did it in practicals as well, because it's just such a good method of deepening your understanding of pathways and locations of different anatomies. So yeah, I don't want to make this video too long, but I did want to give you some more tips which I think would really, really help you. So just make sure that you're taking this time to kind of develop yourself, but also spend the time with your family. Hopefully those tips will help you with kind of using different kind of study strategies to help you understand better. I do think there are so many tips out there that I could make another one of these if you really like, or if there's kind of anything specific you want me to talk about, you know, note taking, or, you know, if you want something physiotherapy based or anything like that, I'm more than happy to do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy that, and I hope the tips kind of helped you, and the video kind of put you in a good spirit and mood. Let me know if you guys have any assignments that you should be doing. I'm watching you. I love you guys for all of the support and all of the love that you give me every single time. And yeah, remember to stay positive. So the video completely cut me off, but remember to stay positive, spread the festivities, and remember you are capable of so much more than you realize. Bye.